Hello there. I've got turn 63 of EA Vanheim as part of the Noob Orange lobby. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First things first, Earthblood Deepwall got dispelled. Pretty sad. It was a min cast though, so it wouldn't take much to dispel it. Probably just like honestly, probably like 30 pearls and a lucky 2d20 roll, or however they do the rolls on globals. So I don't know. That's pretty sad. There's the possibility that I gave pearls to Abyssia to dispel Vengeful Waters, and they chose to take down Earthblood Deepwall. I think it's unlikely, but I also didn't see any other globals get dispelled, like Vengeful Waters. So I guess Abyssia's dispel attempt failed, but it would make me feel a lot better if they sent me like a screenshot saying my dispel failed. But it is what it is. So maybe I just contributed to dispelling my own global. I don't know. We also cast Gateway, sent more troops in case we lost the big battle. And we got 2 Curse of Blood casts. We did a Raven Feast and some Carrion Reanimation. Carrion Reanimation's nice because basically 10 death gems gets you 100 patrollers for blood hunting. So pretty nice. I like it. Some players might view death gems as more valuable, but I don't. I don't have a ton of ways to spend it. Um, I could try and dive into the immortal game, but I don't think I've broken into high death. No, I have because I have the Heliophagus. He might, yeah. He's death 4 with a stick, I think. So I think I could work on it. Anyways, um, I don't have any of the rings, so I think I need Death 4 to be able to break into High Death, and he might be Death 3. But I'm getting close. But not there yet, so this is expanding the blood economy is a perfectly acceptable use of death gems to me right now. We also did Raven Feast to get more death gems. So we spent 3 air gems to get 8 of them back. So realistically, we spent 12. 12 death and 3 air. And we had a few battles, nothing in the magic phase, so pretty quiet there. So let's see how Emmerich went. This is our intrepid troop of mercenaries, the Ichthyids wandering around under dark skies, which you can see at the top of the screen. Kind of cool little graphic. I don't know what's up with the blue at the bottom though. Maybe it's an ocean. But we're fighting this troop of Vinemen that have been summoned by Helheim. Just a big classic brawl under dark skies. So morale 3 Ichthyds somehow holding up just fine. Shockingly. The Vinemen must just not be landing a lot of hits. Because that went, one might say, swimmingly. So we lost 5 Ichthyds, somehow did not rout. In Duluth, we've got... Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to shut the door because the AC kicked on. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so in Duluth, we have a blood hunt. What looks like a former, blood hunting operation from Helheim is actually attacking this province. So trying to get that back. They're going to do it with a bunch of imp spam. Should be able to harass this down. There we go. Then we have an attack in Oakbeach, and this must be our throne, because it's our only other attack. Okay, so we've got our army here. I think we went over this last turn. But we've got... Looks like this guy got hit by lightning. Oh, does the... Wow, I didn't realize the Coral Blade might not even kick in until like very late. I didn't realize it doesn't even kick in by the time battles roll around. That's actually really good to know, because if I stick it on them and they get hit by lightning, then they're gonna just die that turn. Or like murdering winter. So you have to like plan a couple of turns in advance for that kind of thing, I guess. Got a couple of thugs. We've got this guy over here. Our trolls kind of deployed kind of weird. I think they were supposed to be out in front, but they ended up in the middle. And we've got our blocks of Vanheims and our block of Storm Demons. Over here, we have the army of Helheim, and he did sneak in a couple of new commanders. Let's see if I can find him. So we got an Air 2 Death 4 Hang and Drop with a bunch of Death Gems. So this could be Wind of Death spam, or it could be Wailing Winds. And it's Twiceborn, so he doesn't care. We've got what looks like a Foul Vapors caster. We found the source of the Vineman. And okay. And it looks like that's pretty light on magic support, but let's go ahead and see how it is. He's got his army deployed in like 3 flanks, I guess. So we've got the Lavaborn on the right flank. We have the Jotun Wolves on the left, backed by the Jade Maidens. And some ghouls, I guess. In the center, we've got the Hell Herdings, backed by Valkyries. And a couple of Pegasus Riders. Alright, so I guess we can go ahead and kick this off. The Storm Demons start by throwing some stuff. They put off mass protection. I did send the Eagles back here just to distract initially. Storm Demons are doing work though. We put off, I believe, Ground Army. So we should be Shock Res 10. Although I think that's just our Bless. Now we're Shock Res 15. There we go. So we got off Ground Army. We also got off Mass Protection. We have Poison Resistance on our Bless. So Foul Vapors is not the worst in the world. And you can see the main, these 2 blocks really got in there, and the Lavaborn are being pulled from the right flank down to the left by the Eagles. So, number of globals have gone up, or not globals, like battle enchantments. So we have Storm, we have Wailing Winds, we have Growing Fury, and we have Darkness. So, notably, Growing Fury catches, I think, a couple of our mages, which is unfortunate. I can just tell you who it was. Mamor ends up getting hit by Growing Fury. And I wouldn't have minded him just flying off the battlefield, like if he routed here. That might have been preferable. And then the other guy to get hit by Growing Fury was our little Bone Reader guy. And so he ends up charging into battle as well. Anyways, but we have a pretty big line here. It looks like we're getting our ends curved a little bit, so we're getting a little bit of an envelopment where Helheim's going to get to do more attacks per square than we are, because we're on the inside of the envelopment. But I think it's going to work out, though. Especially with 23 protection. Is a Berserk, so we're up to 15 natural protection. So all of our guys are like knights, and the Hell Herdings just don't do enough damage. They have the Light Lance for 20. Maybe that's like taking into account first strike, the difference in damage. So I guess maybe it's 20 damage on the first strike, which is just going to do chip, I think, even with the lance. Now the Jotun Wolves can still punch right on through 23 protection, but they have lower attack, so... Oh, that's interesting. They don't even have dark vision. I think it's kind of weird to have wolves in a game that don't have dark vision. At least a little bit, like 50%. But considering how often wolves are associated with the knight, but yeah, so these Jotun wolves, they don't have dark vision, so they're actually hurt by the Hangedrot casting darkness. Unless, yeah, no spirit sight on the bless either. So it's okay for the Hell Herdings because they have spirit sight. The Jade Maidens become worthless. The Jotun Wolves actually become pretty worthless because they can't hit anything. The Trolls, on the other hand, have 50% dark vision, so they're not doing much better. It's kind of a slap fight. Defense of 12 versus defense of 6. Alright, so the Trolls aren't going to fare great, but the Vanheers still have excellent attack because they have dark vision 50. And they still have some defense, but they also have a lot of armor. So I think they're going to trade pretty well. And let's see, did the Thugs get in there yet? No, he's still buffing up. Alright, so this guy's still buffing up, and he's fatigued out the War Troll next to him, which happens. So, you're not the only one, Femoria. Everyone does it. They stick things next to the Cold War. Femoria was feeling pretty bad about it, and I completely understand, but I think everyone's been there, done that, so told him not to beat himself up too much over it. And then we've got our Earth Troll. I want to have one Thug on each flank because it was really effective in the last battle, having the Troll King that wandered out to the right flank. So we've got the Troll King again on the right flank. Yeah, so he hasn't gotten that yet, but he'll regen to it. Alright, and yeah, so we've got off a number of buffs. We've got our Storm Demons, we've got our line of Vanheers. Nothing's like come around the edges and flanked. And we get Fog Warriors going off. So now they're really not going to hit us. Additionally, the last of the Eagles are still getting worked down by the Lavaborn, who are going to do fairly well in darkness. They have 50 dark vision. We do have a Vanadrot Thug who ran in, so a little bit of an army Thug combined with this guy. And thankfully he's got 10 resist, so I think he's still going to get fatigued out. No, he shouldn't. I was worried that the Spectre was going to fatigue out the Vanadrot Thug, but I think we'll be okay. Storm Demon's still doing work. We've killed all the Jotun Wolves just about, and the Jade Maiden, so we've actually curved around on the left flank. But we're about to get the Lavaborn coming into the fight. And the Hell Herdings are actually sticking around to get killed this time, because I didn't do my own, was it Wailing Winds? I didn't have enough Jarls to pull off the Communion to do that. I just had a few to do some Thunderstrike spam. And I thought the Thunderstrike spam was more valuable than having Wailing Winds and no Thunderstrike spam. So you can see some of the mages still running in because they got different things triggered on them. This guy actually hasn't been triggered with Growing Fury. So he's thrown out Petrifies, which are brutal because it ruins their protection, but it gives them 20 20 protection. It ruins their defense, sorry. And then they have to make a save or they just die when they come out of Petrify. So if you have hard-hitting things, you can just hit right through the stone form and kill them. So we can see the route, and we're moving in on the mages now. So mages fatigued out again, and so we're gonna get some mage kills. Alright, so that went well. We took a couple of losses. We lost Amor, the Adept of the Silver Order. I don't have an easy way to, besides my Pretender, to get access to Astral 3. So that actually was a pretty significant loss. Like, there's a reason I've been hiring this guy back. But I think I don't even want to think how many times I've hired this merc throughout this game. I think I've had him on like permanent hire. So losing him sucks. We also lost our Bone Raider, who, gosh, what were we doing with him? I think I went over it in the last episode, but there's, I think I gave him like a death stick, and he was creating Valkyries, and he might have done something else. I forget, but he also ran in and got killed from Growing Fury. In retrospect, I think I've got enough Berserkers. Maybe I don't need to Growing Fury, but I do feel like it's helpful in some ways too, because you're guaranteed to have commanders stick around, because somebody's going to get hit by it. So we lost 3 of our Clockworks, we lost our 15 Eagles, so that's a number of air gems down, and we lose a bunch of siege strength. So they'll be hard to replace, but it was worth it not to make sure that we didn't get Wind of Death spammed. Now, he could have done that as part of his army, and I think that would have been really effective too. But yeah, the point of them was to try and disrupt a Wind of Death spam. It was 2 Storm Demons, 5 Trolls, 10 Vanheers, which is just over 1 turn of production, so super acceptable, and we lost 1 War Troll. So all in all, like, really good. Didn't lose too much, and the kills they got were phenomenal. So the Storm Demons performed extremely well, and the Vanheers at 11-1 is way better than like the early game matchups that I was getting, where it was like 3-1 in favor of Helheim, or 2-1, like 2.5-1 if I had army thugs. So getting 11-1 now because of magic feels good. Like, we got a lot of diversity in this lineup that we were able to bring to the field. On Helheim's side, pretty horrific losses. The Hangedrat will be back. It was twice born, so the mage losses aren't as bad as they look. But a couple more Van Herses, a couple more Jarls. They're replaceable, but, I mean, you don't want to replace them all the time. It was like all the Jarls I lost trying to cut retreat routes for the previous big battle. Like, that hurt. Loses a Dis, though, in addition, so realistically lost 5 mages. Also lost 66 Hell Hurtings, which should be a lot of production. Now, he has a ton of temples, so I don't know if he's producing more than like 10 of these a turn. So this might only represent 5 to 6 turns of production, but that's still 5 to 6. That's still a lot of production to lose. And 34 more Jotun Wolves. So I think these things were like 2 nature gems each. So that's 15, 17 more nature gems. Or no, sorry, 68 nature gems. And 10 Valkyries, so a whole pile of Sacreds were killed. We also really killed a bunch of the Lavamourn. We had a few retreats. They were all successful into the fort, so that was nice. That was from the Wailing Winds. But they did what they were supposed to. Nobody ran immediately. Just to watch this again. Now, Helheim brought a Foul Vapors caster. I haven't talked to the player yet, but I'm assuming this mage was supposed to Foul Vapors me. So let's go ahead and watch what this person casts. So they do Mass Protection. Poison Ward. Now, I have a feeling Poison Ward was not the script. I think it was a substitute spell that used a gem. And I think the two remaining gems, I think that was supposed to be Foul Vapors, is my assumption. But I think what happened was the Jade Sorceress was so high in fatigue from the Mass Protection that she opted for a lower fatigue spell like Poison Ward rather than casting. Although I think Poison Ward might be 100 fatigue too, so maybe I'm just off base. Maybe it was just Poison Ward in case I did pulled some Foul Vapors play. I don't know. But I honestly thought when I saw that mage, oh, I'm about to get Foul Vapors, and it did not happen. I was pretty grateful. So now we do have on the Bless, we do have 15 poison resist, so we have protection from that. But I brought some mages that would well, that guy's not gonna care. Neither is that one. Some of my mages were going to care, except not that guy. Yeah, so maybe I think I did script Serpent's Blessing, so I think that went off. But I do have 15 poison resist on the Bless, so got some protection. So I'm not that vulnerable to it. I would lose some key mages, like maybe this guy, although he got hit with Serpent's Blessing. So if I don't script it, I would lose some mages, and it would suck, like the ones I lost. But I could still win a battle if I don't put up Serpent's Blessing, I guess. So really did think I was going to get Foul Vapors though, and I did not. Alright. So let's move on to the final three attacks. So Helheim does 3 more raids at me. So we got Pania. We have the Greenstone Armor from Bogus Thug, along with Precious. So, pretty good little thug. However, actually ran into a counter thug group that I set up. So, we've got 2 Great Sword of Sharpness thugs, along with Salt. That was just for the gen. I don't know. I mean, Uber is gone now, so I don't know what to do with all this salt I've got. But, yeah, so I think we can kill this with the 2 thugs we brought, but we'll see how it goes. Cast Flight. We fly in and land a hit on him. So I think we bust Mist Form because we did a shit ton of damage. And then we proc Twist Fate. Yep. So we've done 1 damage, and then we yeet him. So hit him 3 times pretty quickly. So an attack roll of 30. So barely hit it, because again, that Helheim defense is insane. And then we rolled just a ton of damage with a greatsword. So for 22 points of damage, increased to 27. So we kill him. So we're taking that loot back to Calum. Then in Gemmer, or Gemmer, however you want to say it, we have what looks like an air elemental thug going up against, oh, he landed into 2 more Great Sword of Sharpness thugs on my end. So, assuming they can kill an air elemental, which they have a lot of shock resist. So as long as they don't get trampled and they break the form down quick enough, they'll be fine. Air elemental at this point can't actually hurt them. And we have another air elemental that got spawned. We immediately knock the form down so it can't hurt them. This guy's fatigued out. Alright, so we move in and kill him. And then in the green wall, let's see, under Dark Skies again, we have 3 Jarls come in against some PD. So this one's going to work. I don't think we need to watch this one. So this raid works. Yep. And then Lightning came in, killed 11 more units, and 36 were wounded. We found some more gems. We had a temple destroyed, which is actually going to affect how many Vanheims we can recruit, which sucks. And then we got some trade income in Vanheim, which is nice. So, all right. So, moving around the map here, this is where the big fight took place. We had a couple of raids around it. So this was the Ichthid raid. This was the Blood Slave raid that succeeded for Helheim, where they cast a bunch of imps. We had a couple of raids here where we caught some of their raiders, so we're going to counterattack in the region. Notably, this guy got feeble-minded by something. I'm assuming the lightning bolt hit him and gave him an affliction, and it feeble-minded him. So we're going to suicide this guy, get him off the payroll. And then we've got 2 thugs here who are going to counterattack. And then we're going to garrison this because it looks like it's about to be hit. We want to save all these air gems. Because what is this? 3, 4, 5 air gems and 1 earth gem. And then we're also going to attack this Helheim province. So we've got a guy stealthed here. He's gonna move in to defend this. And then we're going to bring in these 3 thugs to attack this. So hopefully we can take, we can take this and then we can trace the gem and come back. That'll be nice. And I'm sure Abyssia is watching this back and forth and just going, yay, I finally get to build things. So Abyssia building up some rather large armies of summons. So not sure what he plans to do with them, but we'll see someday. I'm sure he's trying to catch up on research too. And yeah, just otherwise we're moving some raiding parties around. We're not moving too many of them though, because I don't think they've been spotted yet by Helheim. So we're just going to hold some of them in place until they get triggered. I'm sure he has scouts, and maybe he's seen some of this. So maybe I should move them around, but this isn't what I did this turn, so maybe I'm just being lazy. We are like extremely focused on research. So I know we've got a bunch of vampires and our intent was to go burn some temples. But I turned off 2 of the blood hunting provinces due to unrest. I mean, that was just a little bit of unrest. I turned off some of the blood hunting due to unrest and swapped them over to research. And we're going to make a push because we lost Mamor for construction 7, and that'll unlock golems. So we're going to do a 1-turn push, get construction 7, and then I'm going to have my pretender get a golem, and then we'll finally break into higher astral in a way that doesn't involve mercs. So that'll be really nice, and then we'll switch back to going after blood, and our research will dip at that point because we're going to be mobilizing more mages again for fighting. We're getting another Curse of Blood, so we'll get another vampire. Getting some more dragon helmets. I did swap around some of the hammers to lower impact mages in terms of research, so I can make sure to hit that research goal while still getting stuff we need. So some of the people doing research or crafting rather are like these guys, because it's a very small impact to research. And these guys where I can find them, it's again small impact. So that's kind of the goal there. And then we're gonna go ahead and start trying to counter raid, start burning some of these temples, start trying to push our dominion back. It is kind of interesting that all three of the factions remaining in the game can blood sack. So everyone should be able to control dominion to some point, but because one person is putting out a lot of dom pressure, I think we're all blood sacking. So we're all wasting tremendous numbers of blood slaves to just maintain dominion, which is kind of comical. Um, so that's kind of like that issue, I guess. And then realistically, I think I kind of want to pull these guys back and hit this. So I think that's what I'm gonna. I know I wanted to burn this temple, but I didn't realize these guys had like, yeah, it's like 3 morale because there's so many enemy candles. So I think I'm gonna come back and raid this, is what I'm gonna do. Although I only get one more turn with them. Alright, I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it was. If they die, they die. I was thinking maybe I could get some income by coming here. But anyways, the Helheim scales, though, with his death scales, I think. So he's slowly killing off population, so his blood hunting's gonna eventually suffer because of it, but his income is gonna suffer more. So I think he's forever gonna struggle to field the same number of Jarls and Hearses that we can field. And then, let's see. Ooh, is Abyssia not running? Am I the only faction running growth? That's wild to me. Oh, I guess they aren't running growth either. I mean, it makes sense. Like maybe they didn't want to run death and have like half the impact of death, but they didn't want to put points into growth to have half the impact on growth because it's a quirk of Abyssia. Yeah, where the scales have half the effect. So some people run it for like basically running 1.5 death to get 120 points that they can put into a bless. Some people do that. And some people think growth is still so good that they want to support the blood hunting that they will put points into that. And this player just opted for just neutral, which I think is fair. But as the only player with growth in the game, that's an interesting proposition for me because it means I'm the only one who's gaining as the game goes longer in terms of income, like gold income. So if a global goes up, that hurts gold income like extremely hard. Like I don't know, like a burden of time or an utter dark. Like it's going to impact me more than the other players. But that is interesting. It does mean I can blood hunt harder though, and I can blood hunt a little bit safer. So I've been blood hunting certain forts where I know I won't get raided. And I mean, I can start moving out to provinces. I think this one would be a good one to blood hunt. Or like this forest, but I don't know. Just trying to avoid having my blood hunting, my blood hunters killed. So it's kind of been that goal. But I didn't realize I had that sort of time advantage. So dragging this game out longer has been somewhat beneficial to me. I did think about changing this guy to be a blood hunter, but it's 53 unrest, and in case someone gets hit by lightning, I just wanted to make sure, because I don't know where research comes in the turn order. I just want to make sure I try and get this so I can do the golem next turn. So that's kind of the idea there. So yeah, so we had another big victory. So even if I lose this game, at least I've had 2 big victories against Wailing Winds, like Helheim stacks. Now, these were Wailing Winds Helheim stacks that also didn't bring Blood Rain or Wind of Death spam in the same stack. So I feel like I didn't get the full Helheim experience yet from fighting these 2 stacks, but I still got really good experience. Like I have some tools in my toolbox now by kind of working through like the Growing Fury, Bloodletting, some of the other stuff like working with a lot of berserkers. Like I've got some tools in the toolbox that I can at least try if I hit certain research goals to at least take on Helheim in the late mid game. And I think their power, it seems like their power spike is like in the early mid game, or honestly, like everything through like the middle of the mid game, and then they start falling off. So, especially since it seems like they struggle to keep up with research as well. So that's kind of the goal there. So there's one global slot. I don't have enough gems. Like I could try to put up like a min cast of Riches from Beneath, but I think I'd rather save up more Earth gems and do like a really big cast, wait for another global to get in, and maybe I can try to like overwhelm someone else's cast. Is kind of the idea. So, but I have a feeling, especially after the blood slave failure, that I might need like maybe like 300 gems to put up a big Earth global and have it stick. So I don't know. It is gonna this war is gonna go a while because I can't really. There's a certain amount of safety in his dominion right now, where there it is. Where between the dark skies ruining morale, like you saw with the 3 morale Ichthids, or the vengeful waters assassinating commanders, which might also happen to the Ichthids, or Wrath of God, killing commanders and troops all over the place. Like I'm losing 30 troops a turn to Wrath of God, which is not great. Not a big fan of just losing troops all over the place to it. I'm probably losing some sacreds too. So, like, it's entirely possible that he could be killing like half a turn's worth of production of sacreds every turn, and I just can't do anything about it. So, but, we'll do what we can. Maybe in the future, if I play against like a Helheim where I think this global might come up, maybe I'll take larger on the bless, and then the Vanhears should be, I mean, it'll significantly reduce the number of attacks per tile from the Vanhears, but it should make them mostly immune to globals like that, and even some of the big remote attack spells like Flames from the Sky or Murdering Winter, although I think they're mostly survivable against that unless they get hit by 2. So, and I don't think larger would change that. So yeah, that's kind of the picture right now. Abyssea is building up, doing research, catching up, and we won our second big fight against Helheim. So I think there's an opportunity to get some raiding in, but we're going to try and unlock golems so that we can start climbing Astral. We definitely really need some Astral, and then we're going to send out Vampire Raiders. Start trying to burn some temples. Because if we can start pushing some of this Dominion back, especially maybe we can, if we can just get rid of Vengeful Waters, honestly, like I think both sides, I think even Abyssea would be willing to push into that a little bit, and maybe we can start trying to take some forts off of Helheim. But that's kind of the goal right now. So I'll see you in turn 64.